Gyaneshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Our humble Sashtang pranams at the holy lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Shri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida. Thank you, Gurudev, for translating Katha Upanishad into English, the mystery of the soul. Day 54, Mantra number 5. Blessed Self, Adorations, Divine Love, Light, Peace, Bliss. Deep, divine, heartfelt blessings, divine love to each one of you. आप सबको अभिनंदन है, प्रेम भरा आशीर्वाद. So, Mystery of the Soul, Katha Upanishad, Mantra number 5. In today's day 54. Before that, we will recap a little bit on Mantra number 4. It is about if this spiritual plane for the attainment of self-realization. So those who attain self-realization with devotion and knowledge means he removes the impurities of the mind. So by practicing devout meditation on the self, he removes the subtle desires from the subconscious. That's the depths of the mind. So, by intense inquiry into who am I and consequent meditation upon the self. So, meditation upon the self is very important with that question of who am I and tapping into that inner light. It's like we had studied this, that the sun is 100 times more brighter than a candle flame, and the self is 100 times brighter than the sun. So that's why by intense inquiry into who am I and consequent meditation upon the self, and with that devotion, deep devotion and knowledge, when the impurities of the mind are removed, then the aspirant attains realization of the self. So in the spiritual plane, for the attainment of self-realization, if it is not adapted in life, the soul continues to be immersed in ignorance and is led to various embodiments driven by the karmas. While movement towards Brahman is from light to increasing light, and from joy to increasing joy, until one becomes immersed in bliss, the movement in the illusion of the world is from sorrow to sorrow, from misery to misery, and from darkness to darkness. It is indeed most blessed for an aspirant to accomplish self-realization even within this life. So, if you are not on that path, then for sure you will be born again based on the karmas. But it is very, very auspicious and good for our souls to be on this path. And I do want to share here that even if you do not if you are on this path, wanting to realize the self, walking on the path of not wanting to be born again, and following the four pillars of integral yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga also has some sort of exercise or Hatha Yoga and meditation. So all these, when you follow the path, do good deeds, selfless service, unconditional love, and follow this diligently, then if one aspirant has not reached to that point where the self is realized, then you still will have another embodiment, be born again, but into a higher family. Of course, will be human embodiment, but into a Brahmin family or some auspicious family where you will automatically be led to higher status of spirituality, where the whole family will be doing that, uh, will be on the path of self-realization. So chances are higher that you would be self-realized in the second birth. So you'll not move into downward spiral, but move upwards and upwards and upwards. So until the self is realized. So it is very important to know this, to at least begin your steps. Just like reaching the top of the mountain is only possible if you take the first steps. So if you take the first steps now, that means you are securing your future for the soul, for the upliftment of the soul. And also, if not, then the possibilities are of experiencing the unending sorrows of the world process. So, mantra number 5, Lord Yama is now imparting the knowledge to Nachiketas about Pitri Loka. So just like there are lokas, Bhulok, Bhuvalok, Suhalok. So the upper 7 lokas and then the lower. Total 14 lokas, and the earth is the middle plane, the middle loka. And why is it so important? It is very rare, first of all, to be born as a human being. And based on many good karmas, the soul takes the embodiment of a human being. And within that human embodiment, there are ups and downs based on the family you are born in. And below the earth plane are those that goes towards the lower locus. We want to move higher, but the earth plane is so important because only human beings can either make it or lose it. So either you can move to upwards plane or you can move to downwards plane based on your karma. So you can make your good karma and you can make your bad karma. You can use your good karma, you can use your bad karma. So this is the only embodiment through which a soul can be enlightened or liberated. So that's the better word, to be liberated. So even the devatas cannot be liberated. They are only using their past lives' good karmas. Just like Lord Yama had explained to Nachiketas that, oh Nachiketas, you know even more than me. You are higher. You are requesting for higher knowledge. I did not have even this knowledge when I had asked to become the Lord, the Devata. So that's why I am Yama. Even I, in this status, cannot attain liberation, whereas you can, and you have that knowledge. So he was very impressed. So that is why he became the highest devotee of Lord Yama. And here he is explaining, Lord Yama is explaining in Pitri Loka. So Pitri Loka is the Loka where our forefathers, the world of the forefathers, those who do not get liberated, their karmas are still good, they go to the Pitri Loka. So in Pitri Loka, the world of forefathers, the self is seen as dimly as objects in a dream. In Gandharva Loka, it appears a little bit more clearly, as if through flowing waters. In Brahmaloka, it can be distinguished as clearly as light from shade. But a sage perceives the self even with his own pure heart as vividly as one sees one's face in a clear mirror. So this is the difference. Very nicely Lord Yama is putting that. So an aspirant, Gurudev explains that an aspirant does not need to go to different lokas or different worlds or different planes. Why? He does not have to go to these different lokas to experience the self. He can realize the self as clearly as one sees one's face in a clear mirror. So you don't have to go to other lokas to be able to experience yourself, but you can do it even within this embodiment as clearly as you see your face in the clear mirror, the clean mirror. So that is when you have a purified heart. When your heart is clear and pure, then you can do that. This wondrous possibility of attaining self-realization even within this body is highlighted by showing that the vision of the self is hazy and dim even in the divine planes of existence. So you see how highly the human embodiment is regarded and how high there is the possibility to realize the self within this human embodiment. Even the higher lokas see the self in a hazy way. So as attachment to sense enjoyments decreases, the self is revealed with increasing clarity, while Gandharva Loka enables a person to behold the self with a greater clarity of understanding. Brahmaloka, the plane of the cosmic mind, is able to reveal the self as clearly as light is contrasted from darkness. So Brahmaloka, the highest plane. You can see the difference of the self, like the difference between the contrast between the light and the darkness. However, there is a still shadow of limitation that persists for those who ascend to Brahmaloka as a result of their knowledge and highly righteous actions. After abiding with Brahma for a long duration, they are said to enter into the Absolute. So this is possible if you are very highly and highly you have attained the knowledge of scriptures and you have performed high righteous actions, then you go to Brahmaloka, you stay there, but that does not mean you merge in entirety with Brahma. Brahma, not Brahma, Brahma, the Brahman. So once you are there, you stay there for a long duration, and then these souls after long duration then enter into the Brahman, the Absolute. Brahmaloka welcomes those yogis who adopt the process of gradual liberation, Krama Mukti. I think I have mentioned before about the Krama Mukti. Means you gradually, if you have not reached that point where you directly merge into Brahman, and remember when the soul departs the physical body and your focus is just on Brahman, either you chant your Guru mantra or the smallest mantra, Om. It is small by vocally small, it's written in a small way, but it is the highest mantra. Without that Om, all other mantras are incomplete. So Om has everything enveloped in it. So focus your mind on the self, and in between the eyebrows, forget about everything else and move higher from Agya Chakra. So from your heart to your Agya Chakras, from your Anahata Chakra in between in your heart. So from Anahata Chakra in your heart to your Vishuddhi Chakra at your voice box. From there, move upwards to your Agya Chakra in between your eyebrows. From there, move to your Sahasrara, the crown chakra on top of your head. And then you just move between your Agya and your crown with focus of Om and nothing else. Do not get entangled or attached towards your family, towards your wealth, towards your house, towards your pet, or anything else. Just focus on Om and your Guru Mantra. Your Guru Mantra may be longer, but with that Om that constitutes everything is smaller and easier to concentrate, because God knows what would be the condition at that time. And once you are focused on Om or your mantras, then while in focus, your breath turns out to be last, or even before that you are still breathing, and even if you lose your consciousness but you are still breathing, that mantra continues mentally. So do not worry about that, because once that happens while you are concentrating on your mantra only in the lotus feet of your divine Brahman and yourself, then yourself merges into that Brahman, and mentally the mantra goes on and on and on. And when that happens, then you merge into Brahman directly. It's possible for everyone. But if you have not practiced that in your life, if you have not meditated on that, then that particular moment you may not be able to practice that. That is why we need to practice meditation every day. So those who are unable to merge directly at that time, they still go to Brahmaloka, and they're around Brahman, and there are various types of Krama Mukti. Kram means gradual liberation. You move up and up and up and gradually merge into Brahman. So, however, it is possible for a person with intense aspiration to realize that blessed goal which even Brahmaloka is unable to reveal in its highest glory, right within his own pure heart. Thus realizing he does not go to any world after his death, but becomes merged in the Absolute even while alive. Jivan Mukta, we have discussed about this also. So while you merge into Brahman, even during meditation, for that moment you are Jivan Mukta, you are liberated within this embodiment, within this very life while you are still alive. And those sages and saints who live in that Brahman all the time, every breath is Brahman. The name, the mantra Om, when that happens, you live in Brahman. But for your worldly purpose, you have to do your duties while chanting Lord's name. Mukh mein Ram Naam, Haath mein Kaam. So every action, every thought, every word, and every action are aligned and surrendered to Brahman. So this is called Sadhya Mukti, instantaneous liberation, when you are living in Brahman while in the embodiment, or when you are meditating and for momentarily you are in Brahman, you merge with the Absolute during meditation state. So thus realizing he does not go to any world after his death, but becomes merged in the Absolute even while alive. This is called sadhya mukti, instantaneous liberation. So for that moment, instantly you are liberated. But then you come out, so gradually you'll pick it up that you can be in Brahman all the time. So very interesting, something to contemplate on. And I will continue with mantra number 6. Having known the self as distinct from the senses, which are characterized by a beginning and an end in their diverse functions, a wise aspirant goes beyond grief. This is what Lord Yama is saying. So then there are two methods of attaining self-realization. This is very important to understand. Number 1 is by adopting the path of Sankhya, that is the path of Jnana Yoga, the yoga of wisdom. And number 2 method is by adopting the path of Yoga, by controlling the senses and the mind. This path combines Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So Jnana Yoga on its own, in which is called Samkhya Yoga, and then or path of Samkhya, whereas it's a Jnana Yoga, and then the yoga of wisdom, and then the second one is by adapting the other 3 of the 4 pillars. Of the 4 pillars are the integral yoga. We have talked about that many times. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is Hatha and meditation, Hatha and Dhyana. So the path, the second one is the combination. So if you do selfless service, the Karma Yoga, that means you do it, help, serve and surrender to God. You have no wish of any fruits of that action. You surrender to God and God knows what to give you. You don't ask for anything. Bhakti Yoga, your deep devotion. You are merged into the Lord. Even every action is surrendered to Lord. And then the Raj Yoga, of course, meditation. So when you follow all these 3, that's another path that you can attain liberation with. So the path of wisdom is explained briefly in this mantra. With the help of discerning intellect, a yogi must discover that the innermost reality of his existence, the self, is the silent witness of the functions of the mind and senses. We all can follow both methods. Without Gyan, you cannot go into deeper meditation and all those, because you need a little bit of knowledge, but you do not have to become a scholar. Like, even if you are too intellectual, you remember every shloka, all those, but without bhakti, it is still very dry. It takes longer. It's harder. So a yogi must discover that the innermost reality of his existence, the self, is the silent witness of the functions of the mind and senses. The experiences of the world arise on the basis of the senses and their functions. These experiences of pleasure and pain, gain and loss, and the various pairs of opposites are with a beginning and an end. It begins and then there is an end. It is impossible to find the abiding truth in the world of senses. And when a yogi becomes free of identification with the senses and the mind, he discovers this fact. So again, we all have to go beyond our senses, beyond our mind. And then once that happens, then the yogi discovers that I am different from the mind, senses, and body. I am pure consciousness, unchangeable and homogeneous. So you can repeat this for your own selves in your own time, or before meditation, after meditation, and open quote, I am different from the mind, senses, and body. I am pure consciousness, unchangeable and homogeneous. Closed quote. So, like when we say, I am Sat Chit Ananda. The innermost self, which stands as an eternal witness to the rising of the senses in the states of dream and waking, and their setting in the state of deep sleep, is the reality behind the illusory names and forms of the world. This is revealed in the following mantra. So we will continue with mantra number 7 in our next session. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Divine love, light, healing, bliss, peace, prosperity to each one of you and your near and dear ones. Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti, Hari Om Tat Sat. Let us pray for each being, for their well-being. May all be living healthy life. May all be protected, as the world is so painful, harder and harder. May Lord help each one of us and heal us at physical level, emotional level, mental level, and clear our consciousness, clear our mind and consciousness. May we all walk on the path of self-realization to attain liberation in this very life. Divine love, light, healing, bliss, prosperity. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarva Mangal Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanya Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashit Dukh Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadagamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. This is Swami Lalita Priyananda from Sacramento, California. Harihi Om Tat Sada.